Guys, we are back. As you can see, I'm in my makeshift studio for the time being, but there's good news. The basement is done as far as being waterproofed. I have to finish some painting on the walls, but I'm going to do the fishing area first. And then, as we'll see in the unboxing I'm about to do, I got some stuff. We are going to create a nice little fishing studio downstairs. And after I'm done with it, I'll probably give you guys a little tour. It's not going to be anything crazy. It's the best I can do with my basement. But if you guys have any ideas after I post that video, let me know. We can check it out. But for the time being, we're going to do a little unboxing. Obviously, this week, we all know, most of us got our stimulus checks. So, in essence of that, or expecting that, I wanted to boost the economy in a industry that is near and dear to my heart, the fishing industry. So I did a little purchase from Tackle Warehouse. I did it last Friday, and it came this Friday. And now UPS ground is like 11 days backed up. So if you guys are looking to order things and you don't need it, then this is a great time to do it. If you don't mind a little delay. But I just can't beat the items that Tackle Warehouse offers, so that's why I do what I do, and I get it from there. So, enjoying a cup of Joe this early morning. We're going to go through some of the stuff that I got. Basically, my mindset behind this purchase was Ned Rigs, and I basically wanted to get a new setup for fishing Ned Rigs, and then a bunch of Ned Rig baits. So that, given all the circumstances and not being able to go to your local tackle shop to get things, I want to make sure I didn't have to do that. So if I needed something, it was going to be downstairs, hopefully in my little tackle shop, once I get done with it. So let's start. First, definitely not craziest, we got a Tackle Warehouse shirt. If you order $50, you get a free one. I went with black because I got a white one last time, so slowly getting my arsenal up to where it belongs. Over there. Second, we'll go with some big items first. I got a 16 rod round rack. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm making my basement into an area where I can store all my fishing stuff and start doing videos from down there, because I have two bedrooms upstairs, and one of them was my man cave. The other one we had like for storage and stuff, where I kept a lot of my fishing rods and everything. But now I am turning that into a bedroom for the little one on the way, which, if you guys watched my video a couple days ago, that me and my wife are expecting. So we don't know what it is yet, but I have a lot of cleaning and stuff to do, and then I want to do some painting and everything in there. So, but I need the fishing rods out of there, and it'll be nice to get the fishing rods not leaning against the wall. I think putting stress and stuff on the guides and everything. So this 16 rod round rack, we'll see where we set it up downstairs, but it'll be nice. That's my goal, is to eventually get 16 rod and reel setups. Right now, after today's purchase, I will probably be around 9 or 10. So I want to get about 6 more different setups for different applications, so that I don't have to worry about what I want to throw. I'll have something that I can throw it on and have the best possible outcome. Then I got a reel. Talk about fishing rod and reel setups. I researched the best type of rod and reels for Ned Rig fishing and in line applications, stuff like that. So I went with, the rod is a 7-foot rod, but I'm not pulling it out here because it's just too damn big, and the box is like looks like a missile launcher. So I got a 7-foot Dobbins Fury rod, medium light, extra fast tip, and I'm pairing this with this Daiwa Fuego LT 2500 size reel. Daiwa, I wasn't too impressed with their bait caster. It's not horrible, but I thought it'd be a little better for everything I heard about it. But I'm willing to give their spinning rod a chance, or spinning reel a chance, because I don't think you can mess up the guide and stuff like that on the spinning reel, since there isn't one. So I'm gonna give this one, and everything I read, everyone really likes this Fuego. It was reasonably priced. I think it was $99.99. I think. Yeah, it's $99.99. But you can't put a price tag on a good reel. I've dealt with crappy reels, and I have a couple that I want to eventually replace on some of my setups. But so I'm gonna give this one a shot. Let's take a look. Nice red and black reel. I almost thought they didn't give me a handle. Apparently they package it away from it. I'm not sure why. Should go on there like so. It's usually one of those types. You know what? I'm just going to read the instructions so I do it the right way and I don't mess this up. But basically, that's the look of the reel. I'm going to be pairing it with, I also ordered some Power Pro 10-pound vermilion red braid. So that, and then we're going to go down to a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. Now, the nice thing about Cigar is they started making this year just leader. So I really didn't want a whole, $30, 150 yards of 6-pound fluorocarbon, because I'm only going to be using it for leader. I don't know how much of it I'm going to have to tie on, but I don't want the line just sitting there getting old if it doesn't have to. And then with the braid, I usually use electrical tape as my backing when I put the braid on, but I was also watching one of Brian Latimer's videos, and he actually uses monofilament behind it. And I don't have significant problems with that, but I feel like some of my braid, especially on my last video when I was catching those bass on the jig, and when I was setting the hook and they were pulling drag, it seemed like it was cutting into the braid, and I'm trying to avoid that at all costs, because that's what causes all those bird's nests and all that stuff. So I might try to do the monofilament backing, then the braid, and then the fluorocarbon leader. Plus it'll save me some braid, and I have a bunch of extra monofilament from when I fished as a kid. So, and it gives me a chance to learn how to tie the uni knot a little better. So put that stuff. So that's going to be my setup for the Ned Rig. And my friend Adam was teasing me about it. He said, the amount of money you spent on that Ned Rig setup, you better take it out every time. But that wasn't the goal. The main goal was just to get these set up so that when it warrants it, I can pick that setup up and go, and I don't have to worry about using this, or I really should have braid on this, but I have fluorocarbon on that kind of thing. It's all purposely set up for that, and that's the whole main goal behind it, so that when I know I'm fishing the Ned Rig, I'm going to have that. So let's get into the Ned Rig baits. Now, I've already bought some Ned Rig baits in the last unboxing, and I had a couple extra from that. My whole thing is I've been struggling trying to figure out how I want to store my soft plastics. I have a crap load of soft plastics, and when I take them out with me, I kind of want to keep them in the bag, because the more I read, the more I watch, it seems more people are into storing them in the bags versus in the boxes. Originally, I wanted everything to be in a box. So my current soft plastic situation, the non-new ones are all in boxes. But there's problems with, especially like power bait ones where the scent comes out. You'll lose your scent, or it'll make all the other things in the box slimy and sticky kind of thing. And so it's like one of those things where it's nice to have them in a box, but I also don't want to ruin the integrity of the plastic. And some of the ones bleed and they cause the dividers to warp. So I'm just trying to avoid all that. So if I just keep them in the regular bags, that's what I'm going to do. So that's why I have a pegboard set up downstairs that I'm going to add and kind of put all my soft plastics on that pegboard by application. So I'll have all my Ned Rig plastics somewhere, my drop shots, my worms, my craws, all that kind of stuff in separate sections. And then when I want to go out, and if I know I'm throwing the Ned Rig that day, or I'm throwing the drop shot, those are my baits to choose from. I can put those in the bag, and then I'm just going to have a separate box for terminal tackle related to finesse application. So I'll have all my shaky heads, all my drop shot weights, hooks, Ned Rig hooks, and all that stuff. So that was my main goal with that. And like I said, once I get it all set up, maybe I'll do like a little tackle tour down in the basement. Like I said, I just got the I had to get an internal French drain put in unexpectedly, so that was fun. And I'm still cleaning up all that stuff down there. There's a lot of the ground still pretty dirty and everything. I had to put new washer valves in for my washer and dryer, and I had to put a new gas line in from my gas pipe to my dryer, because the people that owned this before me pretty much jerry-rigged the connection between that. It wasn't even legal pipe. I'm just glad I didn't blow up this whole time that I've been using it. It was like some kind of aluminum setup, so I redid all that stuff. I wanted to do it the right way, and now I'm putting dry lock on all the basement walls, but I'm doing the fishing parts first so I can get this fishing stuff organized, because it's driving me insane seeing a big pile of stuff over here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's all my bags, all my stuff, and it all needs to go in my downstairs, hopefully organized. All right, let's get into the baits then. So, from Z-Man, the originators of the Ned Rig setup, we got some Z-Man. Okay, we got some Z-Man. Okay, I think these are all the Z-Man stuff we got, but we'll go through them. So I got pretty much some colors and some types of baits that I don't have. I saw that these new TRD bugs, I didn't have any of those, so I picked some up in some different colors. Try to find them all. They look pretty neat. Pretty much what they look like is like a small little beaver bait. So I'm thinking I can use these not only on the Ned Rig, but I think I can use them on finesse jigs and be able to put that on as a trailer, so it has a little bit of action. It's going to float up a little bit, which will be nice, and hopefully warrant some more strikes, now that obviously from the last video the jig is now my friend. I was joking with Adam. I said, pretty much the lures that end in G I have the biggest problem with, and so the jig I think solved that. The frog is my next one coming this summer. And I guess might as well add the Ned Rig to it. So here I bought it's called Hot Snakes. It's got like a green with a lighter chartreuse underbelly. So I'm going to give that one a shot. And another TRD bugs, just in green pumpkin. Just plain green pumpkin. It's usually a pretty good color. Can't do wrong with that. This one, another watermelon red, another good color, staple. Like to have that in my arsenal. And a June bug for the dirtier colored water, which is basically just a purple, and it's got some green flecks in it. black and blue for dirty water. Also, like I said, for jig trailers, I think I have a bunch of finesse jigs and stuff, and I should be able to use that as a little soft finesse jig trailer. And California Craw, which I don't know why, but I just love this color. I have it in a couple other baits, and it just looks good, and it works pretty good. I know I live in Erie, PA, but it works pretty good for not being in California. So those are my TRD bugs. Then I got a couple TRDs, finesse TRDs. I got the Hot Craw, which is basically a red and a black with some gold flake in it. Just the 2.75 inch size. I didn't get any of the bigger Ned Rig ones. I guess I could have, but I'm thinking this is going to be a finesse tactic, so the smaller the better for that. And then I got this one. I couldn't pass it up for a couple reasons. It's called, the name is Gobi Bryant. And, you know, in case you haven't been awake for the last couple months, you know, the sad story about Kobe Bryant, you know, him and his daughter dying in a helicopter crash. So thought I'd pay a little tribute to that. And especially for the ponds I fish in, this color looks almost exactly like a brown trout. I'll actually pull one out and show it to you. So if you take a look at that, it pretty much looks like one of those little stock trout. So I'm thinking the bass are used to seeing them in those ponds. So I'm thinking that is going to be a good color for me. Okay, then the last of the Z-Man stuff, we got, oh no, there's one more finesse TRD in there. It's called, one of the things that's near and dear to my heart, Meat Dog. I love dogs, and I love meat. So I figured, why not? It's a little darker. It looks like it is a black, almost like green pumpkin, a dark green pumpkin on the top and a purple on the bottom. But I figure this might not be a bad choice to give a shot and throw out there in a little murkier water. Plus, I can say I'm throwing a Meat Dog out there. Alright, now the TRD Craws. Once again, California Craw color. Love it. I just like that. I had a lot of success a couple places with a Rage Tail in that craw color, California Craw color. So this one's green pumpkin orange. I wanted something a little lighter. And this one was with a green pumpkin top, but it's got a strong orange underbelly. So I think that will look pretty enticing to those bass out there. Then we got a Hot Craw. So it's similar, darker top with a bright red underbelly. So we're gonna give those a shot. And then the Deal. Heard a lot about this. Debo really portrays, he likes that Deal color. It is almost a green pumpkin top and a light blue bottom. So I gonna give that a shot also. But that's one thing also about keeping the soft plastics in their bags. It's like these come in pre-set molds inside of there, so it'll keep the craw looking like a craw and not get all tangled up and stuff, especially if you put them in other things. So that's one reason why I want to keep all that stuff together. So that's my Z-Man stuff. So as you can see, I stocked up on those things so I don't have to worry about not having them, especially given the fact that I don't know when we're going to be open up for retail again, and so I can't just run to the local tackle shop and get something. Okay, and we got some Strike King stuff. Go through what we got here. We didn't get much Strike King stuff. Because I'll be honest with you, of all the things, Strike King was pretty much the most expensive. But I wanted to get a couple other options so I can give them a shot, because I really haven't thrown, like I said, much Ned Rig stuff at all. So I figure, okay, while I'm throwing it, might as well get a whole bunch of different baits, see what I like. I didn't get too many crazy colors, but so the first ones we got were the Ned Ochos, which are very similar to the TRDs. So if you take a look at this, shaped a little differently. You can tell in there. I'll just take them out. So we have a TRD. This is how that looks right there. Versus the Ocho. The Ocho is like a ribbed, and this color is red bug. So it's a little smaller in profile. The TRD is, but this one looks a little bouncier, especially that little tail. So I'm thinking we'll give it a shot. You know, we gotta throw it out there, see what we can do with it. But that's that. The TRD is definitely a little slimier than this Ned Ocho, but it also comes in one of those cases where it kind of keeps the plastic in the position that it's supposed to be in. And it's got coffee scent and salt, which is one of the Strike King staples. So that was red bug color. Then I also got some in Summer Craw, which is basically a green pumpkin with a lighter, almost like that Hot Snakes color. Then I got Black and Blue Swirl, which once again I'll throw in the muddier water, especially when it calls for finesse tactics. Then I got some Rage Ned Bugs, and this color I really liked, called Crawdaddy. It's like a black and brown with a little accent of like a dark orange in there. And then we got the Bama Craw. I already had some of the other ones from the previous unboxing, so I didn't get too many different colors with this. They don't offer a lot of colors with it, so I just got some of the ones that they had that I didn't have. So this one's a Bama Craw, and we got the Crawdaddy. So those are my Strike King ones that I got. Pretty much, you know, limited. Then we got some power bait. Not too many of those either. These were basically the second most expensive, but there were things I didn't have. So this one is called the Power Bait Cash Out, and it almost looks like a little drop shop bait because it's got this little tail at the end. I really don't want to open it up right now because they usually stink, and I gotta make breakfast in a little bit. We're making some bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and I don't want to get my hands full because even though you wash them and wash them and wash them, it just doesn't do that well. So it says unscented, but I just don't trust it. So regardless, this color is Morning Dawn, which is one of the favorites out there to throw, especially in the summertime. For some reason, early morning, low light conditions, it seems to be a killer. So we got that one. Then we got a Cash Out, same design. This one's green pumpkin orange. So it's going to mimic a bluegill. It has that green pumpkin and then an orange tail at the end. So that orange tail hopefully will float up and be at the end of it. It'll look like a dying sunfish or a sunfish eating something off the bottom, and hopefully get some bass reactions. And this one is called Perfection. Once again, I got this because it looks like one of those brown trout, a darker color of it, but I figured that could be a good option in some of those ponds, and even just around the bay, because it kind of almost looks like one of those gobies too. So I'm hoping, because I think I heard the smallmouth are coming into the bay now. I don't know how shallow. I don't know if they'll be able to be reached by shore fishermen, but I'm going to give it a shot because I do want to try to hook up into a big smallmouth. I didn't catch one last year. I caught like a 3-pound, 2-ounce one the year before that, and they just fight differently than largemouth, and they're fun to catch, and especially when you get on a whole bunch of them. Tube jigs, stuff like that, jerk baits, things, they you can have some fun. So those were the power bait ones. Then I went with some robo worms, and the reason I was doing this, I came across these, was watching Tactical Bassin video, and they talked about the robo worms. And what's nice about them was they have a bunch of different color selections, and as you can see, I was not shy about getting a bunch of different colors. I think that's all the robo worms. So basically I got the 3-inch Ned worms, and we got a whole bunch of them. Like I said, they're almost a cross between, when I compare the finesse TRDs to the Ned Ochos, they're basically in between. They're a little less ribbed than the Ned Ocho. They're the same size as the Ned Ocho, because the finesse TRDs are 2.75 inches, so they're a little longer. But I got some interesting colors here. This one is called Aaron's Blue Smelt. So the top, and I gotta show this one to you because it looks pretty cool. So the top here is green, and it looks green all around. Then you take it on the bottom, and it's almost like a salted bottom, where it's like white and blue. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty neat. So it goes from green to white and blue. So especially fishing in the bay, and come pretty soon here, hopefully we can get to it, because Presque Isle has been underwater most of this week because of that windstorm that we had earlier. So hopefully we can get to some of those spots, especially the ones where I caught some of those big fish this year. Because if not, we're gonna have to devise a new tactic, because we're going out tomorrow through hell or high water. I don't know what the conditions are gonna be like. It's basically snowed yesterday, and it's gonna be high of like 45 today, and it was basically 38 all week. So I'm sure the fish activity is going to go way down, but like I said, perfect time for a Ned Rig setup. This one, Aaron's Morning Dawn. It's a little darker than the other Morning Dawn color that I showed you, but I like it because it's a different, gives me a little different aspect on the Morning Dawn. So if I'm a little darker water, this might be the case. This might be what I want to do. Then I got Bold Bluegill. And once again, the robo worm, it gives you a lot of cool colors. Like this is brown. You're thinking that's brown. Look on the back, green underbelly. So that's where that Bold Bluegill comes into play. Then green pumpkin perch, which is green pumpkin, blue underbelly, and a little chartreuse tail to hopefully mimic the sunfish in there. So I got that one. Basically, a lot of the places I fish are sunfish populated, except for the bay, where there are some sunfish, obviously, but there's a lot more bait fish, like shad and minnows and stuff like that. So we'll be able to utilize some of that. This one's purple brown, basically says it. They weren't too creative with the name because it's a purple top, brown bottom. Then I got Aaron's Magic, which is a combination of green pumpkin, brown, blue, little hint of purple in there. But I hear a lot of good things with that, and so we're going to give it a shot on a Ned worm. And then Watermelon R&B. And it's basically straight watermelon. There's a little bit, a hint of a darker color in there. Once it gets turned and based on how the light hits it. So those are all my robo worm ones. Now we're getting into some that I've never bought from before. But first, we'll look at a couple of the Zoom ones that I got. This is just the Zoom Beatdown. It's basically their play on the finesse TRD. And this is probably the one that's closest to the finesse TRD. It's a little longer, but it's got the same kind of profile. It's not like the robo worm or the Ned Ocho. So this one is California 420. It's like that California craw color, just a little lighter, and I just really like that color. To me, it just looks enticing, and it looks like what I would want, or what I think bass would want to bite on. So we got that one, and we also got this Houdini color, which is more of a translucent color here, and it is got a little watermelon red flake, but then it's got like a clear underbelly almost, and so I'm looking forward to that. Those are my Zoom ones. Now we'll get into some that I've never bought before. I didn't really even know that they exist. Oh, I got one more Zoom one that snuck in there, and just the old watermelon red. So nothing fancy, but just some more Ned Rig style baits. Okay, so we got these ones, missile baits, the Ned Bomb. So the difference between this is more like the power bait one, because it has a tail almost on the back of it. So when it's sitting on the Ned Rig and it's plopping around, there's gonna be a little tail versus just a straight end to the worm. So we're going to see if these might have their own application, but I figured I'd give them a shot. They look different online than they do here, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how they look in real life than they looked online, because I thought they were going to look fatter online, but this is more of a slimmer profile, so I'm pretty excited about that. But the first color I got was just typical green pumpkin. You know how that goes. Then I went with something for hopefully that smallmouth bite, get them early on, with the Goby bite, which is kind of like that TRD deal color, and it's got the black flake on top, and then that light shad color, almost minnow color on the bottom. So, and we have a lot of gobies in Lake Erie, so I'm thinking that will play out. And then we got Purple Cloud Chartreuse Tail. I really wanted to try this one, especially in the murkier water, because that profile, and then it'll have that little bright flick of chartreuse there. So I went with that. Now these are salt infused, I believe. So these are ones also that I'd like to keep in the plastic, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then last but not least, the Sunfish IPA, which of course, like I said, I fish a lot of areas where there are sunfish, and so this is a great color. Plus I like IPAs. I just had one last night, which was the drink before 421. Adam got me in lieu of celebrating the conception of my child, and I enjoyed it last night because it was 418. I only had 2 days. So here's that Sunfish IPA. Now let's go. I bought some more Ned Rig jig heads. They were pretty much out of stock with most of them, especially the weedless ones, and I already had a bunch of unweedless ones, so I picked up the ones I could. I got a couple 1/8 ouncers. I got black and I got purple. These will keep them weedless, but they'll still have the Ned Rig look. And I also got 1/16 ounce, but the only color I could get it in was this brown, doo-doo brown color. But I wanted something a little lighter. Worst comes to worst, I'll just paint them myself or make a little change. Maybe just make the sides black or something like that, mess around with it. But I think, some old model car paint that I can do that with. So those I got added on to my terminal tackle so that I have additional those extra wide gap Ned Rigs, because I don't know when they'll be in stock again. And like I said, they don't carry them even if my local tackle shop was open. And we got some new ones. These ones come from Lunker Hunt Finesse Baits. Never bought anything from Lunker Hunt before. I think they usually make some of those No, those are live target. So Lunker Hunt, I really have not had any of them before. Live target, I was thinking about the ones that really look like the fish. Those ones, I don't even think have a name on them. They're just called Lunker Hunt finesse baits. And I got these ones, black and blue flake. This definitely mimics the Ned Ocho. It's pretty close to it, especially the underside of it. And it's in a hard plastic case, so I can keep those with the way that they're supposed to be. And then this one is like a green pumpkin blue. So green pumpkin on top, little blue flake, and a blue underbelly. So once again, I just wanted to give them a shot, see if I like them any differently than I do the other ones that I got here. And then one of the ones near and dear to my heart, because I watch a lot of the Bait Man TV, and he knows his baits like none other. And he supports 6 Sense Fishing, and so I figured I'd give them a little look-see with the Ned Fry. Now this is our biggest bait of all the Ned baits that I got. It's going to be, I believe, 4.6 inches. And so they're a little bigger baits, but I figure this might not be a bad thing because, you know, sometimes they might just want a little bigger profile, and now I can give that to them on a Ned Rig setup. And so, and I definitely wanted to support 6 Sense because I like their product. I haven't got any of their hard baits yet, but I'm pretty well stocked with hard baits right now. But eventually, when I get down there, I just want to get all my soft baits up to snuff before I go into the hard bait area. But so the first one is a Ned Fry. I'll take one out so you can see the size here. So you can see it's about almost 5 inches there, and it's got a cool little feel though to it. So you know, the anticipation is that it's going to look like something feeding on the bottom, and this will give a little bigger profile, so maybe get a little bigger bass too, because a Ned Rig sometimes can be a numbers kind of catch, not necessarily a big catch. I'm sure you can catch some big ones on it, but not known for it. So, and then this one is a dark melon red. So it's basically close to that California craw color. So I figured I'd get that in a little larger profile. Then we got grass candy. This one looks pretty cool. They have some colors that I've never really seen in other baits, so that's why I'm going to try it. But this one, it's pretty shaky too. It almost reminds me of like a Senko. But it's got like a purple, green, with purple, green, black flake all throughout it. So it looked pretty good. We'll give it a shot. Throw it up down there. Then we got oxblood, which just sounds, you know, primal. And if this thing doesn't catch fish, I don't know what will. But that last thing, the Tackle Warehouse sticker. So I'm going to put some of this stuff up, like I said, on my fishing stuff that I found downstairs. I got a storage rack I'm going to set up. Rod rack. I got a pegboard. I need to get a workbench. Right now I'm probably just going to use this white table that I'm using right now. It's a cheap table, but it'll get done for the time being, so I can get my baits and stuff ready down there and then start doing videos from down there also. Also, I found a storage cabinet that I think I just need to repaint. Once I repaint it, I can use that to store some of my other stuff, like my bags and some of my other tackle and things that I'm not going to have out on a storage rack. So that's my Ned Rig unboxing. Stimulus, part of the stimulus check I used for that. Help stimulate the economy. I hope we're all hanging in out there together. We got to get through this together. It is unprecedented times, but we're doing the best as we can. Just try to help out your fellow neighbor. If you need, try not to, buy 75 packs of toilet paper. If you can get by with 8 packs, or just one 8-pack, just to make sure that everyone gets the stuff that they need as far as food and all that stuff, because the more we help out each other, the better. So that's my spiel. I'm off the soapbox, and we're going to get out there. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see what we can do on a colder day. We might be visiting some new locations because we can't get to the old locations where I know the bass are at. So it's going to be a little tougher, but that's what makes us better fishermen, not always just going when the fish are biting like crazy. So thanks for watching Steve-O's Fishing, and we'll see you next time.